About to go live on unityonlineradio.org. Hello. Hopefully I'll be able to see your comments. Beatrice, hello. I can see people's comments, which is great. Means I should be able to answer the odd question as well. Yay.
Comment 816-251-3555. That's 816-251-3555.
Get in tune with the sun, moon, and stars. This is Astrology with Yasmin.
Hey everybody, it's Yasmin Boland here. How are you doing? I'm coming to you live and direct from London. I am on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Yasmin Boland on Facebook, and I'm on unityonlineradio.org. If you'd like to call in, I would love to speak to you. I will be taking calls, as well as talking about the astrology of the week ahead. And I'm going to start off, actually, I think today, I'm going to start off with a card for everybody who is watching or listening. And then hopefully I'll be able to do a few one-on-one cards, looking at people's charts as well. So let's start off today with a card for everybody who's listening. How you all doing out there? How's life as we slowly but surely sort of emerge from lockdown? Have you emerged from lockdown where you are, I wonder? Here in London, England, seems to be business as usual as far as I can ascertain. I've been back about a week now, and we've all been told we don't need to wear a mask when we go outside. I think people are still wearing masks in supermarkets and so on, but life is coming back to normal. And I am going to talk a bit about the astrology of the pandemic, what feasibly we have to look forward to in the next few months, and also when it comes to the next 12 months, because I think that's going to be quite important as well. All right, so I'm starting off with a card for everyone. And so if you are watching this right now, or you're listening on the rebroadcast, or you're watching on the rebroadcast, here's a card for you. Oh my goodness. This is big because this is the second time I've drawn this card today. I drew it about 20 minutes ago when I was testing the app, because my Moonology cards also come in an app. And it's the New Start is Coming card. The new moon, New Start is Coming card. Actually, I also do a Facebook Live broadcast most days and most weekdays. And I did one this morning. The card I got this morning was the full moon, Surrender to the Divine. And now, however many hours later, about 4 or 5 hours later, we've got the new moon, which makes complete sense because it always goes full moon, new moon, full moon, new moon, full moon, new moon. All right, for those of you on Facebook who can see, here's the card. And this is what it means. Way! There is a yes coming your way. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. Well, what could that be? The situation you're asking about is blessed and you are on target to achieve your goals. Woohoo! The message from the universe is that you're starting all over again in some way, be that on a new or better course or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and you are moving into a new cycle. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. Okay, and attune to the moon. Every card, these are my cards, by the way, even though I'm reading it, I actually wrote it, but I don't know them all off by heart, and I do like the interpretations. It says the attune to the moon is, this is a good one actually, this is from Wayne Dyer. I'll see it when I believe it. Get it? So it's not I'll believe it when I see it, it's I'll see it when I believe it. And that basically taps into the whole law of attraction, manifesting thing, which is what we do here on this show. So, oh gosh, Sammy's saying divorce next week, then I can start my new life. Good luck to you, Sammy. It's definitely a good card for you. And you're watching, you got that card. So take that as a sign that you are moving your life in the right direction. And I actually know what I would like that card to be about. Something that just happened about 10, 15 minutes before I came on air. So now we'll see. Another one of my little secrets that I shall keep a secret for a while. The last one of those I had, I'll just say what it was for anyone in Australia who never got resolution on that, if you didn't ever happen to see the broadcast. It was about getting my columns into 5 of the top selling magazines in all of Australia. I'd been approached and I said to everybody, can you please help me manifest this wish? And I can't even remember how we did it now, but we all closed our eyes and we worked on manifesting this thing. And now if you're in Australia, you can read my weekly horoscopes all over again and my cosmic column, and get your questions answered, different things in different magazines, in New Idea, TV Week, Who Magazine, Women's Day, and Take 5, and also on nowtolove.com.au. That's just for the Aussies there. Jenny Evans says on Facebook she has a job interview on Wednesday. Well, that's a really good card for you. It's a really good card for all of us, to be completely frank, because you know, we all really are at the start of a new cycle, as I'm sure you can sense as much as I can sense it. You know, I know our friends in Melbourne, Australia, or Victoria, all over, I think, are in lockdown still. They're in like really rigorous lockdown. I mean, I think there's even police on the streets and army on the streets keeping everyone locked down. But for most places, I think we're coming out of it now. And, you know, we have to try and keep our thoughts positive. You know, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, you will have seen I posted something yesterday that the governor of California said. What's his name? Gavin Newsom, I think. Let me see if I can quickly find it as I chat. He was talking, would you believe, about manifesting. Yes, the governor of California was talking about manifesting. Now, I know California is actually going through a tough time right now because I know you've got the fires there. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love for that. That does not sound good at all. And some people were a bit disparaging of this fellow. I think his name's Gavin Newsom, is it? And they were a bit disparaging about him talking about manifesting because I think they don't feel he's doing a particularly good job with the fires. To be honest, I don't know much about that, but I can tell you that, you know, it's not just him that's manifesting. It's everybody that's manifesting all the time. We're all manifesting 24/7. So there are a couple of people who got on my feed and said, oh, yeah, well, let's see Gavin Newsom manifest an end to the fires, which isn't really fair because he can't do it by himself. I don't know who he is. I have no political affiliations with him. And if he's a horrible, you know, terrible, terrible politician, excuse me for even quoting him, I literally have no clue about him. But I can tell you what he said. He said, the governor of California, I just want to close a speech he was giving by reminding each and every one of you the future is not just something to experience, it's something to manifest, he said. It's inside of us, not just in front of us. It's our decision, not our conditions, that will determine our fate and our future. And I'll just say, just to give you the full picture here, one person replied, Josie replied on my Facebook feed, right, meanwhile our state has 300 fires burning. Guess he should start manifesting putting out those fires, which is a bit rough. You know, it's not like he lit them. And to which someone called Josephina Santana replied, which I thought was very enlightened of Josephina Santana, Josie, manifest rain. Manifest low oxygen levels in the highest and best. We forget we can actually do this. So, you know, I mean, why don't we all join here together just for a moment and manifest some rain in California? Let's just all In fact, maybe Louis over there in at Unity Online Radio has a magical meditation track at his fingertips. Sometimes he does. And maybe we could actually do a little meditation, and we can include a bit of manifesting rain, manifesting health. What do you say, Louis? Have you got a bit of music you could play for us by any chance, please? Not yet. Okay. Maybe he needs a bit more notice. We'll just go into meditation anyway, guys. Maybe we'll get some music, or maybe we won't. Sorry, Louis, didn't mean to put you on the spot there. All right, so please close your eyes. Oh, there we go. I'll just turn the phone down a bit because it's on my phone. Okay, here we go. We're going to manifest. We're just going to manifest. So close your eyes. And just breathe. Just breathe. Can't really hear the music. There we go. Okay. I want you to start by thinking of something you are really, really grateful for. And I'll tell you why once we've done the meditation. So think of someone or something you are really grateful for. Okay, and now we're going to try and send some rain to California. Close your eyes and imagine the state of California over there on the west coast of the United States of America. And just imagine some big, beautiful, fluffy white clouds coming in to cover the coast and just raining down. Raining down. Imagine it pouring down on the fires. Imagine it pouring down on the fires and quenching wherever is raining. Send them some rain. Let's all send them some rain. Doesn't matter when you're listening to this, if you're listening now, if you're listening to the rebroadcast, send them some rain. Just visualize rain pouring down on California. Okay, and pouring down, and just imagine the sound of the water hitting the fires and psh, making those noises as the fires go out. Send them some rain. Send them some rain. Saving the animals, helping the people. Now put your hand between your breasts or in the middle of your chest and throw your hand out away, far away as you can. So be it. Okay. So hopefully a bit of rain for California. Now, if ever you want to manifest something for yourself, that's how you do it. You just close your eyes and start to imagine it. It is best to do it at the time of the new moon. That's when is it like really the ideal time to start your manifesting. But you can do it anytime. You can do it anytime. Okay. So let me see. We actually have someone on the line. I would love to speak to you. Let me give you the number if you want to call, but we're going to come to you in a minute. Who is it on there? Franny in New Jersey. If you want to call in, the number is 816 251 3555 816 251 3555. If you're watching on Facebook, the number's at the top. I would love to look at your chart or your cards. All right, so let's go to Franny on line 1. Franny, are you there?
How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm so glad you're back on the radio. I used to speak to you when you were on Hay House all the time.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, I've been back on this, I think, for about 3 months now. And it's really fun. I mean, it's, you know, it's a good little discipline for me once a week, and it gives me a chance to speak to someone, which is what I really like.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you about my financials. I was involved in a family estate suit, which I sort of lost, and now I need to manifest enough to keep my family surviving.
Right.
How would I do that?
Right. And so, okay, well, I mean, obviously the easiest way to manifest money is to get work that pays. Do you have work at the moment?
Well, I'm trying. I have applications out all over because due to the illness, the COVID, I work in a school system, so we don't have school anymore. It's all online, and my job has nothing to do with being online teaching.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
That's very difficult. So, do you have a side hustle that you could be selling, like, you know, something you do that you can sell online while you're looking for jobs?
Not really. I've taken, small jobs here and there, cleaning houses and selling produce, anything I can do, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at your chart here. And so what were you doing at the school? What was your job there?
My job is to take the kids out that need the extra help and retest them or just go over the lesson again, like a teacher's assistant.
Okay. And is there any way you could be doing that online privately, you know, since your experience? Could you be offering that as a service to some of the kids? Because aren't the American kids back at school? Here in England, our kids are all going back to school next week.
No, here in New Jersey, our governor has us locked down, so the kids are, they have to do virtual school.
Okay, but you could still offer that online, couldn't you? Maybe you could put that out that I'm still available for, you know, extra tuition.
Right, I could. Public school, usually the parents don't pay for stuff, like they don't have to pay for online or anything, but right. I'll try it. I'll give it a,
Give it a go. I'm just looking at what else is going on in your chart. Let's see. I mean, now is a good time for you to get some extra cash, so we just have to work out where that cash is going to come from. How many applications have you got out there? Are you hopeful some of them might come through?
Right, I'm working on 2 more to send out later today, but I must have sent out 10 so far.
Okay. You know, it's hard getting even an interview these days, isn't it? Because they put everything through a computer, I've been told.
And there's so many hiring freezes now, too, so it's too much.
And so, is there no way that when the schools go back, you will be back on board?
Yes, I will have a job if the school decides to go back. It'll just be whenever the governor decides we can go back.
Right, yeah.
And if we do go back there, and they get one case, they'll shut them down again.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part.
Yeah. I mean, someone on Facebook who's listening in to this had the same idea as me, saying you could tutor. I know you said that people don't want to pay for it, but probably some people will pay for a bit of extra tuition from someone who's a TA who actually knows what they're doing. I honestly would be starting there. I mean, looking at your chart, Franny, there's sort of nothing stopping you at the moment in terms of finding work. So, I mean, there is a bit of a go slow perhaps because of Mars retrograding in your 8th house, and it might not be that easy. But it's not going to be like that forever. How are your savings? Are they okay or?
They're dwindling fast.
Yeah, right.
You know, I have a lot of big expenses with the lawsuit. I have all the lawyer's fees. My mother's in a senior care, so I pay for all that too. You know, so it's just been flying out the window.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to draw you a card as well. On a really practical level, I think, you know, you know what you're doing when it comes to being a teacher's assistant. That's the service I would be offering people. I'm sure there's a way for you to get the word out that you're available for online lessons, because a lot of parents will be worried about their kids not getting all the information they need at this point. You know, you can teach online, you can teach on Skype. Someone on Facebook is saying you can teach English online via Skype with iTutor.
Oh, I just saw that. Oh, thank you,
Oh, there you are. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Well done. Well done, Tina.
Tina. Okay.
There you are.
Well,
okay. I'm
going to look in after we hang up.
Look into iTutor. It's the great hive mind. And yeah, this card you've just got is actually the same as what's going on in your chart. You've just got the card that says a personal issue reaches resolution. So on the one hand, I think it could bring you some work. And on the other hand, I think it means you're going to be able to move past this legal thing you've been in.
Okay.
So iTutor it is. Tina on Facebook says it's $22 an hour.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that. That's wonderful.
There's no such thing as a coincidence, Franny. Thank you.
Oh, I know. Huh?
Go off and do it. You've got the qualifications. You might as well use them.
Yep.
It might be a side hustle for you even once school goes back.
You all.
Well, thank Tina. She's the one who had the idea. She also mentioned VIPKID.com as well.
Yeah, I see it all here on Facebook. That's great.
Ah, okay, you can see it on Facebook. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Go and try that.
Okay, thank you, Yas.
I think you've manifested some cash. All right, there you go. How about that? That was good. I think she said she'd just seen an ad for it, did she? She'd just seen an ad for it. All right, we've got lots of more people on the line as well. Let's try... Let me try. Oh, no, first of all, before we do that, let's talk about why, when we did the little meditation before to try and manifest some rain for California, let's talk about why I said to you to think of someone or something that you're really grateful for. Now, I have to be completely frank here. That's an idea that I got from a meditation I did online once upon a time with Deepak Chopra, okay? And... I'm sure you all know who Deepak is, one of the great spiritual teachers of our time. And he did this manifesting meditation and he said, halfway through it, think of something or someone or something you are really, really grateful for. And I got to speak to him one-on-one a few months later. And I said to him, I was interviewing him, and I said, why do you say that? What is the thing there with the think of someone or something that you're really, really grateful for? And he said, because when you go into gratitude, you get your ego out of the way. Okay, you get your ego out of the way. And when you get your ego out of the way, that's when you can start manifesting. Okay, so that is why we go into a state of gratitude when we're doing a manifesting meditation. So just to recap, in case you missed it or you didn't really quite grab it, what we did was we slowed our breath down, because you just need to get into more of a higher vibrational state. Then we thought of someone or something that we're really grateful for, and that instantly raises your vibration, takes you out of ego and puts you into a state where you are more able to manifest. And there is a lot of pretty intense astrology going on right now, which I'll just cover off for you briefly here. The biggest thing is that right now we have the planet Mars in the sign of Aries going backwards, reversing, retrograde, Mars retrograde in Aries, which is already kind of intense. Mars going retrograde. Well, Mars is the planet of action, so you kind of want Mars to be pushing forwards and getting stuff done, you know, really very much so. But of course, Mars retrogrades once every 2 years. So right now it can feel quite hard to move forwards. It can be a time, on the one hand, you might have more energy than usual in one particular part of your life, wherever Mars is in your chart. On the other hand, because Mars is the what do you call it? The engine of the zodiac. It can feel like you're treading through treacle. But moreover, Mars is actually going to be clashing with, in the next couple of hours actually, clashing with Saturn. And that's a problem because Mars square Saturn is not an easy alignment. So if you're feeling a bit funny, if you feel like you've been told off, if you're feeling like you're, you know, pedaling really, really fast and getting nowhere, if you feel like someone's kind of got their head on your forehead and is trying to, you know, stop you from moving forwards, that's the Mars-Saturn energy, and we're all feeling it right now. So, you know, we need to go a bit easy. But the other thing is that this is actually part of a story which is going to be going on and on and on until the end of the year. Mars is going to square Saturn, then it's going to square Pluto, then it's going to square Jupiter, then it's going to turn direct, and then it's going to square them all again as well. So there you go. So I'm going to take more calls, but first of all, we are going to go to a break, but I will see you on the other side and we'll take more calls.
Hey, Yasmin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about the music. I didn't actually have anything. I didn't have anything ready to go, so it took me a couple seconds.
Oh, that's all right.
But the other thing is, Skype does this thing sometimes where if there's noise coming from the other end of the call, basically, it kind of does this thing where it gates.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell.
You know?
I thought that was what was happening. I think it'd be better if I play it from my end, actually.
I think we tried that too, and it actually, to me, it sounded a little bit worse because we could still hear you, but the music was like really choppy. So I think what we should do is there's two things that we can do about it. If we had you back on Blink, which I'm not really sure if we should do that because it seemed like you were having some problems with Blink, that would make it so that you can hear the music as loud as it should be, and then you wouldn't be gated out. Or if you want to do meditations and you want music, I can always add the music later at like a really audible volume.
Okay, all right.
And then I can make it so that when your show replays and in the certain replay slots, that's what's heard, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, no music on Skype is the bottom line for me on the live anyway.
Yep. It just varies from person to person. Like you're away, far away, so I think it probably has something to do with your connection.
Yeah. No, I noticed that when I spoke, it was going in and out.
Yeah. So we want to try to avoid that.
Yeah.
But I can always add whatever you want in post. Even if you don't tell me like beforehand, I can find where you did a meditation and put some music in there.
Okay, that'd be brilliant. Thank you, Louie.
Okay, no problem. And yeah, we got a little bit under 2 minutes now.
Okay, thanks, Louie. Hello, yes, that is Louie over at Unity Radio. I know you could hear me, but it was nothing bad, so it's all right. So shall I just keep Facebook on? Do you want to maybe ask some questions on Facebook, and I can see if I can answer one or two on Facebook as well as taking calls. We do have more people waiting, but we could take a couple of calls. How are you all anyway? Yeah, no, I knew you could see me on the break. Normally I end this now on the break, but I actually really enjoy doing it on Facebook as well. So why don't we just keep it on? I'll see what the Unity gang think about that. Maybe if you put a question after we go back on air, and I'll answer it with a card. How's that for a plan? How is that for a plan? Jeanette Ball, you are amazing. Oh, are you on hold, Tina. Oh, well, I'm going to take your call. You were so helpful before. Okay, Tina, you're first up after the break. Here's another card. Who wants this card? Beatrice, how's September looking? Here's your answer. Oh. Just keep getting the same two cards today. Surrender to the divine. Surrender to the divine. Basically, it's just the same card. Morning and afternoon. Surrender to the divine.
All right, almost back here now.
Thank
Text
you.
251-3555. That's 816-251-3555.
Find out what's happening in the skies. Welcome back to Astrology with Yasmin.
Hey everybody, we're back after the break, and I'm still on Facebook actually, and I have to say I took another card in the break, and so now I've taken 4 cards today and I've got 2 cards twice. So I took a card, actually that's not true because I took this one this morning. Basically I think I've got this, I've taken 4 cards today and I've got 2 cards twice. Now, what do you think that means? That basically means the universe is trying to send me and you, because you're listening, a message. And the message is, surrender to the divine and a new start is coming. So there you go. Now, what does it mean to surrender to the divine? Somebody said to me, does that mean like giving up? No, it does not mean giving up. It actually means saying to the divine, listen, divine, this is what I want. I don't know exactly how to manifest it, but I'm going to surrender it to you, divine. So why don't you just join me now? We're going to do like a 5-second surrender. Okay, so put your hands on your heart chakra in the middle of your chest. Close your eyes and think, okay, divine, I surrender this to you. Surrender your biggest problem. Okay, so it turns out that Tina, who gave us that really good idea before about iTutor for the previous caller, Franny, is actually on the line and we're going to get to speak to her. So can we please go to Tina on line 4, please? Are you there, Tina?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so excited to be talking to Miss Yasmin Boland.
And I'm so
Wow.
excited to be talking to Tina. Where are you calling from, Tina?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania in the USA.
Okay, rightio. Isn't that the birthplace of your Constitution or something like that? My son's always going on about this Pennsylvania and something or other. What happened in Pennsylvania?
The Declaration of Independence was signed. And the
Oh,
Liberty
that
Bell.
thing, yes. I knew there was something important that happened in Pennsylvania. Right, okay, that's fun. And if you go to Pennsylvania, what happens? Is there a place you can go where you go and you see where they signed the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, gosh, now you're really testing my memory. In Philadelphia, I'm sure it's a museum or it's Independence Hall. I'm sure
That sounds good. Oh, no, don't worry. I'll get there one day and I'll go and check it out. My son is 13. I'm very proud of him. He's a bit precocious when it comes to American politics. He's so into it and he's even read your Constitution. Can you believe it? Anyway. I know, it's just weird if you ask me. But anyway, he's really into it. So, Miss Tina, what can I do for you today? I've got your chart here. Do you want me to look at your chart?
Sure, that would be great. You may have already answered my question with the 2 repeating cards.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Basically, even though I'm calling from the U.S., I'm only here because I'm taking care of injured parents. Both parents are injured.
Oh, what happened to them?
What's that?
What happened to them?
They each fell down separately and broke bones.
Oh my God, that's awful. I hope they get better. Are they getting better?
Well, they're getting every meal handed to them and all their cooking and cleaning done by me, and they're healing quite well.
Are you not enjoying it by the sounds of it?
It's been a long time to be 2 months under your parents' roof when you are an adult.
Yeah.
But I actually would love to talk to you about a much bigger life transition.
Okay.
Or at least I want to be in a life transition, but I am very unclear as to what I would even want to manifest. I have a job in France, and I live in France, and I have been very, very unhappy there, which was a huge disappointment because it was like a 20-year dream to move to Paris. And I have not had to work the job for almost 6 months now because of the virus and being furloughed. But in 1 month from tomorrow, I have to be back in my apartment in France where I have been very, very lonely and depressed and not treated well at work, let's just say. And I don't want to go back. And I keep thinking if I could manifest a new job before 1 month from now, that I would not have to return to that job. But I don't have anything clear at all on what's next. So I did your Leo New Moon manifesting kit and everything. And basically what I came up with is, I love my new job. I love my new job. Thank you for my new job. And that's it.
That's actually a really, really good start. I mean, again, I'm going to be quite practical. I know you're saying you're not loving being with your mum and dad, but you can probably live there for a while you find a new job, can't you? Without, too much bother.
I moved back to the USA.
Yeah. Or I actually remember you wrote to me about Paris, and I was very kind of sad to read that because I love Paris and I always think Paris over delivers. So I'm, I don't know, maybe, who knows what it is, like you're just not loving it. I don't really see a reason to stay there.
I visited it almost 20 times before I moved there, and I was completely in love and enraptured with Paris, and with France, as you are. And once I moved there and it became reality and I had a job with French and European coworkers, I'm on the receiving end of bullying and harassment and being told just go back to the USA and xenophobia every day almost at work.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're in the wrong job because, I'm an Australian/British person in Paris all the time and I've never been told any such thing, and I even worked there for a while as well. So for a start, it sounds like you're in a toxic environment or you've got on the wrong side of someone and you need to get out of that situation. That would be the first thing to say. Yeah. And why do you have to go back because of the job, do you?
Well, technically, I'm back on the flying schedule on September 26th.
On flying, are you an air stewardess or a pilot or something?
Yes, flight attendant. Yes, yeah.
Right. Doesn't sound very good.
There's a very good chance that they will be letting a lot of us go.
Well, look, I'm looking at your chart, and what I see here is, it's so hard for me to override my logic because my logic is Paris is amazing. You should give it another try and, the right thing can work out for you. But maybe you're just not meant to be there. You've got the planet of change, Uranus, in your 10th house of career, so it's not impossible for you to be changing your career now. You've also got Mars, as I was mentioning, Mars is going backwards at the moment, and it's in your 9th house, which is overseas travel. So it could well be that you're... in a way, that sounds like you're going to stay there for a bit. Why don't you go back there and see if you can make it work? See if you can... I know in flying, when you're flying, you're changing crews all the time, aren't you? Why don't you just see if you get a nicer crew?
No, sorry. You work with the same 3 people for 14 hours straight.
Right, but then don't you have a completely different 3 people next time?
The next day, yes, that's true.
Yeah. So can't you just like forget about whoever was mean, because you probably won't work with them again, you know? And I don't know. Look, it's up to you. If you want to go home, I mean, this is not really an astrology question in a way, Tina, because honestly, if you just want to go home, you've got your parents, you can go and live there. Why don't you do that? But to me, it's like, you're not going to find that every single person at this airline is horrible. I mean, that's just, the chances of that happening are just too low to even consider. So I think what you need to do here is you need to make a big decision about what you actually want. Because once you know what you want, then you can start to sort of feel your way and intuit your way to how to get it. Because if you're not going to always, it's not like a normal job where, if you're a teacher, say, and everybody in the staff room is really mean to you, then you have to see them again and again and again and again. On your job, you work with a whole lot of people, and then you work with them for 14 hours, and you go home and you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you work with a whole lot of different people. So the chances of all the people being horrible are fairly slim. So if you want to make it work, I think you're in a good position. But if you actually have decided, you know what, this didn't work, I'm going home, then do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of almost need to decide what you want to do.
Right. That's the part where I feel so lost. Yeah.
And what's coming up for you as I'm saying this? Are you thinking, yeah, I just want to go home? Or are you thinking, no, I want to go back and try again? What's coming up for you?
Well, it's not the one about I just want to go home to the U.S. at all. I don't really feel like I have a place in the U.S. anymore where I want to be. But it is disappointing at least about the job, and what's coming up might be something in the middle where I go back to France and find a different job there and stay longer, and just to make sure, like, was it just the job, and is there a better job there for me?
Yeah. Or, just assume that it's going to be better post the pandemic. Give it 3 months and see how it goes. Oh my God. And we got this card, a very similar card again. You've got the new moon eclipse, expect powerful change. So hopefully that means the powerful change will be things going in the direction that you actually want them to go in. Now I'm going to listen to this very carefully because I'm very curious to see what happens. I'm looking at your chart, and honestly, you've been through some tough times because you've had Saturn and Pluto squaring all your planets in Aries. But as of the end of the year, they're all going to start supporting you. Come on, we both love Paris, Tina. We know Paris is amazing. I wouldn't give up just yet, but that's just me. That's not really astrology. But maybe the expect powerful change card means there's going to be big changes when you get back to Paris.
Right.
Which arrondissement are you in?
What's that?
Which arrondissement are you in?
Well, I'm outside of the city because as an American, after a year of searching for an apartment inside actual Paris, nobody would rent to me because I'm not French. So I'm in the suburb in a cute little town called Antony. Oh,
okay. Well, maybe you need to try and get into Paris as well. I mean, I'm an Australian and I managed to get them to rent me somewhere. You just need to... I think we need to have a bit more of a conversation at some point, Tina. I'm going to help you manifest. Paris is amazing. You know it. I know it. We all know it.
Okay, you can come and visit me there to do the manifesting.
Exactly. Don't give up.
Okay.
Don't give up. All right?
That's very helpful. Thank you.
I hope it's helpful. Stay in touch. I'm not really sure if I've helped you or not, but it's really hard. I'll tell you something. It's really hard when you're doing this sort of thing, when you've got your own opinions on something, because quite often I'll have an opinion on something and then I'll do the cards and the cards go, nah, don't do that. That's a really bad idea. And I mean, I think in this thing with Tina, what she really needs to do is she needs to get really clear on what she wants. Okay. And yes, Alicia on Facebook is saying she needs to focus on the positive. That's absolutely true. It's really important to focus on the positive. Okay, and that means finding any little thing that you can to be grateful for. So, like if you're it is hard when you're having a bad time, but just say you're in Paris and you're like, oh, it's not what I expected, and and then maybe someone's nice to you and, I don't know, buys you a coffee or something, you need to think, oh, well, there's a little sign that it might be going in the right direction. This is another thing. I mentioned Deepak Chopra before. I had 3 hours one-on-one with him in 1999, okay? So it was 20 years ago? Yeah, 21 years ago. And, one of the things he said as well is when you're manifesting, you need to really look for the signs, okay? He was talking about something called synchrodestiny. And synchrodestiny is basically where you get things to kind of fall into place for you. Okay, and so his secret, and this is for Tina and for anybody else who wants to manifest anything, focus on the positive, be grateful, and follow the signs, okay? So it's like, I always say it to actually my husband and my son as well, and I write about it as well. It's like, walk through the doors that are opening. Look at what the universe is offering you. And if you're really wanting to manifest something, like in Tina, if you're still listening, in your case, I think one of the issues is you're not quite sure what you want. Maybe you went to Paris with the hope of falling in love. I mean, looking at your chart, I felt like there might have been a bit of a love thing going on. Or maybe a relationship didn't work out or whatever. But, you need to kind of move past that, and you need to start to think, okay, how am I going to manifest, what I want? It's deciding on it and then looking for any little sign that it's happening. That's really one of the secrets. Of course, it's amazing if you do your wishes at new moon. And what Tina said is she doesn't really know what she wants. So at new moon, all she did was she did this affirmation of, I love my new job, I love my new job, I love my new job, which is a great way to start. But of course, it's better if you can start to think, what do I really want to do? And this is just, people are starting to learn about manifesting. We said at the start of today's show that even Governor Gavin Newsom from California, the governor of California, even he has been talking about manifesting. And, when the governor of California starts talking about manifesting, this stuff is going mainstream. And this stuff is real. Like, it really is real. Like, I mean, my husband is French. I met him when I went to live in Paris. I went to Paris on a whim, and I always wanted to live there. And the night that I got there, it was the new moon. So I went straight to the Eiffel Tower, and I went under the Eiffel Tower, and I made my wishes up into the spire, and I wished for love, and I wished to be able to stay in Paris. And, very soon after that, I actually got this job, which ended up being unpaid, if you don't mind, okay? But initially it was paid, on this radio station that was opening up in Paris, an English-speaking radio station. So as soon as I got that job offer, which came from a friend of mine in Australia, like from Paris to Australia and back again to Paris, and I got this work, I knew it was like a door that was opening, so I went through that. And eventually, not that much later, I met Olivier, who's now my husband, and he is really French, okay? So, he doesn't believe, he didn't believe in any of this stuff. When I met him, he was a kind of a, cafe drinking, cigarette smoking, a French Paris man. And he didn't believe in any of this stuff. And now, I mean, apart from the fact he stopped smoking, thank goodness, he still drinks coffee. Well, I drink coffee too, there's no problem there. And he's still French. But, now he believes in this stuff. And why? Because we've been together 15 years, okay? And he's seen it with his own two eyes. And trust me, he was one of the last people in the world to buy into this stuff. But now, before we do anything, he'll say, how do you feel about it intuitively, Yasmin? Or check the moon, make sure the moon's in the right place before I do this big thing. Or, if I say to him, listen, darling, I've got a hunch. In fact, that's a little thing I can tell you as well. Like when we were in France last week, I had this strong feeling we should come home a couple of days early. I don't know, those of you who follow me on Facebook will have probably seen I was in the beautiful part of France at Lake Geneva called Le Léman. And it's amazing wooden cabin we've rented there, and it's like, I don't know, 3 meters to the shore. And who wants to leave there? Leave there? Nobody, okay? But I had this strong intuition, like, I feel like I'm going to put something in my heart, like, I feel like we've got to leave a bit early, And I kept saying to Olivier, my husband, darling, I'm ready to go home. I think we should go home. I'm ready to go home. I really feel like we should go home. I really, really, really feel like we should go home. So he actually changed our ticket because he trusts my intuition. He changed our ticket. And basically what happened was, I don't know, you probably in America, you won't have heard of this, but overnight, basically, we were told you have, I think it was like 24 or 48 hours to get back to England or go back into 2 weeks lockdown, which is the last thing I wanted to do after 5 weeks of freedom at the lake. And, you know, between him and I, he actually did a bit in that as well, because he happened to check his phone at 12:30 in the middle of the night and saw the news came through. So we were all ready and packed and ready to go. We just drove straight through from the lake back to London. And, you know, that was a manifestation, because it was a matter of, you know, following my intuition, knowing I didn't want to be stuck in quarantine if they changed the laws, which they did overnight, and going with it. So, you know, you have to kind of do this in life. Like, you know, I teach about manifesting. I teach all about, you know, with my book Moonology, which I don't have my book there, but it looks a bit like that. With my book Moonology, I'm always teaching about manifesting, but it's literally not just about at the new moon you sit down and you make your wish list and you just wait. It's just not about that. It's about, that's actually part of it. The writing down is really powerful, and I believe it's powerful. Nobody else, I don't think, says this. This is just my idea, and I might be completely round the bend, who knows? But I'm not, because it works. My belief is that when you write it down, okay, it's actually starting to manifest into 3D, because it goes from your head, where it's a thought, in 2D, and it goes through your pen onto a piece of paper, or maybe it's 1D in there, it's 2D on the paper, I don't know, but you're starting to manifest it. And then you visualize it, because what we do when we visualize is we imagine something as real. You know, and when you start to imagine something as real, it starts to manifest. Now, guess what? This can work either way. It can be a good thing or not a good thing. So for those of you who've read my fellow Hay House author, Anita Morjani's book, Dying to Be Me. If you haven't read it, it's an amazing book. It's about, she had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she was like hours away from dying, according to her oncologist. And she said she had spent her whole life eating healthily because she was worried about getting cancer. So basically every time she ate, she was thinking about getting cancer and thinking about getting sick, and she had a real phobia about it. And what happened, and you read about it in the book, I'm not doing a spoiler because it's the telling of it that's so amazing. We all kind of know about this stuff, but she actually, when she kind of died temporarily before being resuscitated, and while she was dying, she realized it was all her fears about getting sick that made her sick. She could see it clearly. She also could see her brother who was in another country. She could see someone down the hall of the hospital. She verified all these things when she came back after having sort of temporarily died. I know I'm ranting a bit, but what I'm trying to say is we are creating our own reality, and we have to get that. So Tina, you manifested going to Paris, okay? You manifested it. You did it. 20-year love affair with Paris. You managed to go and live there. Now you have to manifest whatever it is that you want there, okay? And stop focusing on, oh, it's difficult, oh, I don't like it, oh, I'm lonely. As we said, you know, you don't even have to work with the same people every day. It's not like you've walked into an office and they're all horrible and you have to keep going there. Every day you're working with new people, you know? You are in a good situation. Now manifest the next level of whatever it is that you want to achieve while you're there. And that is why it's so clear, so important to get clear on what you want. Because when you don't know what you want, then you're just manifesting all over the place, you know? It's just a mess, you know. And it's always like reminds me of back when I used to shop in shops, which I barely ever do now. I basically shop online these days. But back when I used to shop in shops, I always noticed, and even when I was a kid, I remember this, that if I sort of said, okay, you know, maybe I needed it for a particular thing. I want to get a red pencil skirt, which I would never do because my hips are too big. But anyway, just say that's what I wanted. A red pencil skirt, you know, those skirts that are kind of that shape. And if I would go into town, this was even as far back as my teenage years when I was in Hobart, Tasmania, okay? Like it's the end of the earth. There's nothing between Tasmania and Antarctica except a whole lot of choppy ocean, okay? And I would go into town, into shopping, and thinking, okay, I want a red pencil skirt. And I would come home with a red pencil skirt. But when I went shopping, thinking, oh, I'll just go into town and see what's there, I normally would come back with nothing, you know, because if you don't know what you want, you're not going to get it. Maybe I'd buy a little trinket, or I'd get myself some, you know, mainly I would buy hot fries with tomato sauce. That's what I usually had when I went into town. But, you know, I wouldn't necessarily come back with anything. And it made me realize, even back then, it was like, gosh, it's really weird, isn't it? If I have a kind of a laser pointed focus about what I want, then I'm going to get it. If I go in there with my laser kind of all over the place, I don't get it. And that's life. That's what we have to think about, okay? That's what we have to think about. I'm actually almost out of time now. Let me see. I think I've got about 5 seconds. So I'm afraid I have to leave it there, actually. But that's like the lesson for the week. Get clear what you want and manifest it. And Tina, I believe in you. You can do it. You've already manifested Paris.
All right.
Thank you, Louie.
Thanks very much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Didn't mean to cut him off. Gosh, that was a bit of a rant I went on. That's because I haven't been talking to the camera for a month, and it's all that stuff. It's like, oh, we're manifesting. Oh, Tina, you were still listening. That's great, because that was all for you. Tina, you need to take it to the next level. You have manifested Paris. That is not easy. So now think, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want now? Okay? Do it. Think, what do I want now? My biggest dream. I've made it to Paris. What is my biggest dream now I am here? You can do it. I believe in you. All right? See you all later. Lots of love.